Now, I would go through a lengthy introduction for your next speaker, but it's me. And today I'm going to talk about humor and how it relates to our being more resilient. And so I have some definitions of this. Sense of humor. It's really how you see and feel humor more than anything else, but it's a trait of appreciating and being able to express the humorous. It doesn't mean being a jokester. It means seeing humor in issues or events or happenings. And resiliency, we all know that it's the ability to bounce back from adversity. And we all have those in our lives. We certainly face them every day in many ways with challenges. But the ability to bounce back. And to me, that is the most important lesson in life, because we are going to face those occasions. Now, I love this quote from Bob Newhart. He said that people with a sense of humor tend to be less egocentric and more realistic in their view of the world and more humble in moments of success and less defeated in times of travail. I think that's really true because you don't take everything quite as being abnormal. The adversity is a normal part of life. And so being able to stay humble, it's easy to stay humble, and I'll tell you lots of reasons for that in life. But it does kind of change your view of the world if you see that, if you have that resilience and a sense of humor. Now, there are several things I use a sense of humor for. As using humor to rebalance. It actually can rebalance you mentally in the face of adversity. And laughing at myself. That's why I said the humility part comes pretty easily, because we are funny. If you think about some of the things we do or how we act or whatever, we can be quite humorous. Surrounding myself with people who laugh. I think this is extremely important, and I'm going to show you some examples of that today, because humor and being positive, it's contagious. It really is, and so is being down in the dumps. So being positive is actually a much better way to live, because it does spread to other people and also makes them want to be around you more. So you have more support and more people to laugh at. Now, laughing is quite important in many ways, and you'll frequently see this expression, laughter is the best medicine. And here are pictures of the participants and the people giving the talks laughing during our mini med school, and particularly during our hula, because we had a lot to laugh about in that case. But there's a very interesting event that happens right before you laugh. You get a wave of electricity that goes through your entire brain. So you kind of get an electrical boost, even when you're starting to think about laughing. So it's really neat, I think. And there's scientific evidence, a great deal actually, that laughter is healthy. It boosts immunity. These are the physical and the mental and the social. The boost immunity, this is because it induces the increase in what we call natural killer cells, which take care of invaders in our bodies and help us heal. Lowers stress. It lowers cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which goes up when we're stressed and comes down when we laugh. Increased endorphins. Now, some people run enough to get that runner's high from endorphins. I've never experienced that. So I have to get it from laughter. It relaxes your muscles for up to 45 minutes after you have a good hearty laugh. And it increases blood flow, which helps your heart disease issues. And so there are a lot of physical attributes to laughing, and certainly many mental and social. And all those you can read about, and I think they're quite true from my view. But you notice how enhances resilience is listed under the mental health benefits. And I think that's quite true. Now, we always want to hear from folks who live a long time, and so centenarians are a good source of information about what makes that possible. And when they were asked, These are the reasons they gave most frequently. And you notice the third one there is laugh and have a sense of humor. This is what they thought was very important in helping them live longer, but also having a happy, productive life. And so it really does help on longevity and health. And I'm going to take you, I like this last one too here. Most important thing to avoid is stress. Since I don't yet have the speaker for graduation, I'm not stressed at all. So I may be doing that part too. But right now I'm going to take you on a picture tour regarding my own sense of humor and laughter in my life. And to start off, when I was a young girl, I was very introverted and very quiet and shy. Hard to imagine, right? Well, it started changing when I got to high school. I tended to be a little more extroverted. And then as I became a full adult, everything went. But, you know, being an extrovert, it doesn't mean you're necessarily have a sense of humor. Introverts and extroverts both have sense of humor. It's just in a different way sometimes. Now, Bill's an introvert and I'm an extrovert. And yet we laugh a lot, particularly at each other. But honey, he's a toot. But of course, one of the reasons I think that I have a strong sense of humor is my family. I grew up with a family who laughed. These are my parents and my two brothers. And in our family, teasing was an expression of love. And so you always were constantly teasing each other and laughing about what we were doing, pulling jokes. So I'm going to tell you this story about the green gloves. Now, when I was a young girl, we all took ballroom dancing, and then after 2 years of it, we had a big ball. And you had to get a dress and shoes that match, and you had to wear long gloves. It's very formal. And so I was really excited, and so my mother and I went shopping, and we got a dress and shoes, green dress and shoes that matched. But she told me that we didn't have enough money to buy the gloves. And it was all right to tell your kids that then. That you didn't have the money. So I said, it's okay, I have white ones, I can wear those, I'll be fine. So the night of the ball, I was all ready to go and getting ready to leave the house in my outfit, and my brother walked in, and he was holding my white gloves, and they were sopping wet. He said, these fell in the shower while I was in there, are these yours? And of course, you know, as a teenager, you're a little sensitive about things like this. So I was having my meltdown and carrying on. I couldn't go to the ball because I didn't have my long gloves. And here came my other brother with a little box. And they had bought the green gloves for me for the ball. But I couldn't get them without going through a little trauma. And the other aspect is you notice we're wearing hats in this. Well, I'm a big hat person, as everybody knows. I'm called the Hat Lady. And I started wearing hats when we went to church, when we were kids. And I modeled hats in high school for a store. But hats became a symbol to me of many things. Now, many of you might recognize this one. I do wear hats, and when I'm wearing them to athletic events, what I'm doing is tipping my hat to the participants and to the people attending to thank them. Say mahalo, because they're working hard. Everybody wants to, get out there and do their best, but some days it works, and some days it doesn't. And that takes resilience to keep on going. And also I do it because I want people to know, and when I'm in a position like Chancellor, that we're there to support them. And it's highly visible, so you can notice it. And lastly, but not least, it's fun. You can have a lot of fun with hats. And so I do use them. But over the years, my use of hats did change. I do still wear them, as you know. I've worn them here. Changing hats with people you're meeting with. When you want to truly listen to a person, act like you're wearing their hat and you're thinking through their head, not yours. You're not so busy with your own hat. You've taken it off and you put on their hat. And that really does help you listen to other people, truly listen. And I found that very useful in many ways. Now, also I've used humor to rebalance. As I've mentioned before, I'm a breast cancer survivor and thriver. And during the initial time that I was going through that, I watched this movie Fargo about 10 times. There was something about the dark humor, you know, because it's a pregnant sheriff who eats like a horse and thinks it's beautiful out when there's a blizzard. And she's chasing some killers that put people through wood chippers. But it's a classic, and for some reason that dark humor really helped at that dark moment. And so I really did use it. But on the other hand, I did compensate with working on a camp for women with breast cancer. It's called Infinite Boundaries. And this was a project that was, we were all meeting, all of us were survivors and thrivers, and we met at the governor's house because the governor's wife and his daughter had the BRCA1 gene at that time. So they did have breast cancer. And so we were all discussing how we could do this camp and how we would set it up and do everything. And there was a woman sitting next to me at this, and she'd been fairly quiet. She was probably about my age now. And finally she spoke up and she said, well, I guess we shouldn't make it topless. Now, that's a type of dark humor. And we cracked up. But I'm pleased to say that this camp is still ongoing and highly successful in Wisconsin when all of us got together and worked on a project that helped us balance the dark side. It does help with balance. Also, spending time with friends who laugh. This is my friend Joy, who's been a friend for over 60 years. And we're still very close and see each other regularly. And here we are with my niece trying to teach us to bodyboard this summer. She was a little disturbed with our progress. And here we have a picture, Judy Pyle, she's in this one. She's a friend of over 25 years from Wisconsin who lives in Hawaii. And this is the occasion when we were celebrating a major gift she made to the School of Hawaiian Knowledge. So you run into these people again and again. You know, it's a small world in so many ways, and they're very precious. Also, this is a group of 3 women. We all worked together on many projects, including the Susan Komen cure for the race. And the one in the middle, Robin, has metastatic stage 4 breast cancer. I figure if she can laugh, I can sure laugh. She's very strong and has courage and inspires others. Here we are with Ella Hay, who's our sponsor for today's session, with our 100-year-old friend Cecilia, who passed this year. But rarely did you see Cecilia without a smile on her face at 100 years old. She was marvelous. And I think we should also talk about the fact that we're fortunate to live in Hawaii. We have many occasions we get to enjoy meeting people, and from here and other places. Here, Jim Neighbors is always fun. He's always smiling. Here are our friends, Carolyn and Dave, traveling together. Here we're working on a good cause to raise money for breast cancer. In addition, you get to meet people from other countries. And you talk about somebody who's got a sense of humor, is the Dalai Lama. He really does. We asked him when we were visiting with him once, would you like to rest before your talk when we were visiting with him? He says, oh no, I love to gossip. So, you see people, you meet people in life who've been through tremendous adversity, and they typically have a very strong sense of humor, and I think that's how it helps them handle it. Also, here are Okinawan gathering over in the Sunrise Restaurant, which I love. And this is a group from Korea. And this woman here, Gachong Lee, She's one of the most accomplished people I've ever met in my life. She's amazing. She owns universities. She's a physician. She owns art galleries. She's just a real power in Korea. And she has no wrinkles. She's 83. Right, that's what I said. When I was visiting there, I asked their dermatologist if you could make me look like her. And they looked really closely and they said, well, you know, your skin's not too bad for a Caucasian, but you'd have to stay a lot longer. But wonderful people you get to meet, and certainly sharing joyful times at the university. University is a place full of joy in many ways. So we're doing a great service. We're creating the future, and it's just wonderful. And graduation is the happiest moment of the year for me, always. Everybody's happy at that one. Also, there are many opportunities that I had to laugh at myself. Here I am playing basketball against our Wahine basketball team. The rules were that you couldn't take the ball away from me or stand in front of me when I would shoot. And I still only made 2 points. And here we are at a tailgate with dear friends, singing and making music together. I can't sing a lick, but they encouraged me to sing, and we all had fun together. Those are occasions where you laugh at what you can't do, but still try. And great family adventures. We're very blessed in that we go to Telluride each year where our children, our grandchildren learned how to ski. And we still ski, except Bill and I start late, have an early, long lunch, and quit early while they're on the Black Diamonds. But this is the group dressed in their Hawaii shirts, appropriately with the shaka. We're trying to train them right. So we're blessed in many ways also to live in this great place. And I am very grateful to live in Hawaii. These are the other moments. You don't have to be doing something fancy like skiing. We're here at the volleyball game, just hugging. This was our 50th anniversary together. And this one's my favorite, because when the parents were away, we taught the children how to play poker. And then we took their money. They got to learn how it works, you know. But in Hawaii, we're really fortunate, because here I caught my first octopus. That was that was a really exciting adventure. And I had probably my only one to catch. This is my first graduate student from Wisconsin. She was born in Hawaii. So we still get together out here in Hawaii because her family is still here. And I love this one, whales. They bring peace to your soul. They're so majestic. And I also isolated influenza viruses from whales many years ago. There aren't many of those, so I just want y'all to know that. And of course, I'm blessed in another way. I am married to my high school sweetheart, Bill, who's in the class, and for 52 years now. And we have a lot of fun together. Tomorrow we take off to Costa Rica to celebrate our 50th 2 years late. You know, the dates don't matter quite as much after 50 years. But also, all of these are what I call creating rocking chair memories. And as we know, as time goes on, we have fewer of our colleagues and friends and relatives, so we have to make new ones to do that. It's important to constantly be social and interact with people, because others do pass, and we're sad about that, but we also have to keep stimulating our social interactions. But I have this up in my office, and this is the UH trustees gave this to me, and it's all different pictures of good times. I believe in remembering the good times. I don't believe in living in the past, but remembering the good times, very important. And you'll notice two dominant themes in these pictures, hats and smiles. Those are two kind of that go together for me. Most important saying that I'd like to leave you with is keep company with those who may make you better. I think the mini med school is just such company. And that really is important because these people can make you laugh, overcome difficulties, and refresh your soul and your mind. And that's what we're about here today and throughout the course. Now, I do have homework. I just can't give it up, folks, because I think it's important. This is a homework I'd like for you to engage in, is make a list of what makes you laugh so that you make sure you incorporate it into your life, because it's different for everybody. But make a list. And then call or visit someone who will make you laugh, and then share memories or events and make them laugh, and then see how you feel afterwards. It's a really neat feeling if you want to boost and feel like you can be resilient even in the face of adversity. I know one of our members was talking to somebody who just had surgery right before we started the class. She was helping that person deal with it and helping her be resilient and overcoming the difficulties of that. And then laugh together and enjoy it. Enjoy the feeling. And I'm going to tell y'all that you folks in the mini med school make my heart smile today. And so I'm very grateful for that. Mahalo nui loa.